Recorded to the cloud. I am going to mute everybody except for Mr. Stout. Brandon, are you there?
I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, boys and girls. Thank you very much again for coming on this morning and being part of this. And today we are going to have the opportunity to interview Mr. Brandon Stout, not our newest dealer, but definitely one of our newest dealers. And I believe it's probably our first dealer that was organically growing through the organization. So congratulations, Brandon, for doing that. It's probably one of those rare times I'm going to have an interview where I can talk to somebody and not talk about their previous direct sales experience, whether it be selling water, air, or vacuums or something like that. So pretty interesting. Just to give everybody a quick heads up as to why we're interviewing Brandon for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to sit there and say somebody is not muted. Or that's you, Brandon. You're moving around a lot, big boy. But
What's that?
If you're moving around, that's okay. Lots of good things. Brandon's being interviewed for a lot of reasons besides doing an awesome job. But to give you a quick example, in the 7 months he's been open, he's ordered 1,986 units and has averaged 283 units per month, starting from scratch, starting from, a brand new office, going to find an office in Saginaw, building his team and growing his team. So congratulations, Brandon, on an awesome job so far. And the great thing about doing a great job is we expect bigger results in the future. We got a few questions for you this morning, Brandon. Are you ready for them?
Let's hear them.
Okay, the first one's going to be an easy one, okay? You've been married to your lovely wife, Kaylee. How long have you been married?
We'll be married 3 years this June.
3 years. Okay, so you're still a newbie. So you haven't forgotten your anniversary date yet then?
Yeah, sometimes. Depends on the day.
Yeah, tell me how that works out for you. Now, everybody on the call, I'm sure, has had the chance at one time or another to take a look at the video we did of your office. Beautiful office, by the way. If you ever get a chance to get up there in Freeland, it's a great office to visit and get some ideas from. And all over your office, you have superhero posters.
Yep.
So the hard question is, who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, man. Superman would be for DC.
Batman.
Trash. Superman, mostly just because, the logo. It stands for hope for anyone who's not a comic book person. And then Marvel, I like Thor. I like the Greek mythology.
Okay.
The Nordic kind of stuff. So Thor for Marvel.
Did you enjoy the Thor movies?
They were kind of bad until Ragnarok.
More of a comic guy. Fair enough. Good stuff. Okay, so now the questions are going to get a little bit harder, Brandon. So the first question I have is from David Carter. And it says, Brandon, what attracted you to this business as a safety advisor?
So I was prior to working for April as a safety advisor. I was a fire inspector for a company called Wolverine Fire Protection. So I did a lot of fire alarm and fire suppression inspections. So the whole thing with that was, it was going really good. I loved what I did. But like probably most people here, you were working under someone who was just a complete pile of trash. And so I was in a part of a small office, so there's only 4 of us. So my supervisor, he had about 7 years to retirement. And then the guy who was the manager of our department had about 15 years to retirement. So I was kind of going to be stuck in limbo for a while. So I was looking for something new.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really, really good. So what attracted you to becoming a dealer?
The opportunity to be able to be your own boss. And then, it's been pretty rewarding kind of helping people, achieve what they want to achieve, especially where Scott and Jake are at right now.
It's an awesome feeling. There's no question about that. Also from David Carter, in your opinion, what characteristics does a leader have to be strong at?
So there's obviously a lot of different characteristics a leader could have. The ones that I personally like, my top 5 are influence. You got to be willing to influence. You got to be, you got to influence people, help motivate them. You can't really just be authoritative.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be optimistic. You got to be respectful. Respect's earned, not given. You got to always have a learner's mentality. There's always so much to learn, so much to get better at. You can't just think you know it all. No good leader is a know-it-all. And then like kind of Brett said yesterday, you got to be humble. So humility would be another characteristic of mine.
Wow, that is an absolutely awesome answer. Influence, optimistic, respectful, learner's mentality, and humble. Really, really, really good. And something I got to be honest with you, that's probably a spot on an answer you can ever get as characteristic for a great leader. Really good job. Okay, from April, what branch of the military are you still in, and why did you choose that one?
So I'm in the Air Force. I'm actually part of the Air National Guard now. I was active duty prior to meeting my wife, and then I switched over to the Guard to come back home. Chose the Air Force. I actually almost signed up to be a Marine. My brother and my best friend both enlisted into the Marines right after high school. And I was right there in the recruiter's office getting ready to do the same. And I kind of was like, wait a minute. So about a year later, I joined the Air Force. My brother, my best friend, I mean, as much as I can appreciate, the history of the Marines, and, they definitely have the best service dress of the military. This is the kind of some of the horror stories you hear. And I wanted something that was going to help set me up for the future. The Air Force is easily the best branch to do that. Unless you want to go like into the medical field, then you should go in the Navy, because they got a lot of good, corpsman stuff that you can do. So just pretty much something to set me up for the future. That's why I joined the Air Force.
Excellent. Very, very good. What is the book that you would recommend for people to help them use their past as a strength?
So I was actually just talking to April about this the other day. The one that I would choose would be Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. It's a kind of very similar background to the way we both grew up. David Goggins is actually a Navy SEAL. And he's now he's a motivational speaker. And he does a lot of ultra marathons. So his book is really good for anyone who maybe endured some hardships or rough life growing up. And then he just talks about how he pushed himself and what the human body is actually capable of. So this guy, what made him really famous was that his commander in the SEALs signed him up to do a 100-mile ultra marathon with no training. Told him he's pretty much getting out there and running it, and he actually finished it. He finished it within the 24 hours you're allotted, and he basically broke his body down to near death. He was on the verge of kidney failure, multiple fractures in his feet and his legs, and he still finished running the whole race. So that Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins would be one that I would go for.
Fantastic. That's I think that sounds like a good book for all of us. So what is your 1-year goal and your 5-year goal?
So my 1-year goal, business-wise, we're obviously going to get Scott open here soon. Already in the works of that. I want to get Jake open pretty much as soon as I can too. And then we brought in another guy. He actually coached the freshman basketball team where I coached JV at. And me and him just started talking. So he's got a master's in business. He's done sales before. So I brought him in to kind of show him what we do. Because personal recruits have worked out extremely well for us. So Jake Maloney was actually a personal recruit of Scott. So we brought him in, and he's on board. So he wants to become a dealer. He had I think like 7 protections in 2 weeks prior to the whole shutdown we just went through. So he was kind of rocking and rolling.
Wow, that's awesome.
So my end of the year goal is potentially 3 dealers. And then for a personal goal is I want to get back into the physical fitness I was in prior to dislocating my knee. Kind of let myself go quite a bit compared to what I used to be. So
I think we're all guilty of that.
So that's my personal goal. Then my 5-year goal, to be honest, I haven't really even thought of a 5-year goal for the business. So I don't know. Obviously just growth and expansion. But then for a personal goal, something that I want to do within 5 years, hopefully, would be to pay off our mortgage on our house.
Okay, awesome. That's really good. Right now, obviously, we're in strange times. We're in uncharted waters. Nobody really knows, because we don't know what the light is at the end of the title. Whether are we finished in 2 days or we finished in 2 weeks. So obviously, there's a lot of uncertain times. I think everybody's doing an awesome job of keeping their attitudes high. What are some of the things that you're doing to keep your people's heads, your teammates' heads positive during this time?
So we actually have our own group messenger on the Facebook Messenger, which is a lot nicer than group texting and stuff like that. So what we're doing is kind of something that you talked about within the past week. So I have them going on there and writing a message of what a daily task is that they want to get completed for the day. It doesn't have to be everything they want to do, but it's just one thing to kind of just help keep accountability of each other. Myself, Jake, and Scott, we're always constantly putting motivational stuff in there. We're constantly sharing things that they can do to educate themselves and make themselves better for when they come back, so they can hit the ground rolling. And then me, Scott, Jake, and Jake. I mean, we're all staying in touch quite frequently every day. We're chit chatting. So
that's awesome. That's really, really good. Right now we have 24 registered dealers, and we have 11 dealers getting ready to open within the next 90 days, depending when obviously when this time frame goes in. What advice would you give, based on your experience, to a new dealer that is opening? If you were able to give one piece of advice. Brandon, you there? Brandon? Okay. We are going to wait and see if he gets back on. It looks like he got knocked off. So hopefully that won't take more than a minute or two. There we are. Brandon, you're back? Brandon?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay, not a problem. So I'll go back to the question again. We got a bunch of new dealers getting ready to open. If you were to give them one piece of advice based on your little bit of experience right now, what would that advice be?
Like as in they're open and running their office, or they're getting ready to open?
What advice would you give them, let's say within the week before they open and the first week they're open?
So one of the mistakes I made, which is good, it's always good to learn from mistakes, is build your inventory. Spend the first 30 to 60 days, kind of like Brett mentioned yesterday, to build your inventory. Get that going, and then just grow, just go big. You constantly hear people saying bigger is better, and I know it's something that you preach. And then the other thing would be don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's the only way you're going to learn. Don't sit there and just constantly rely on someone to do it for you, or constantly, like, for example, like I didn't want to sit there and keep bugging April for every single answer, even though I know she would have given them to me. You got to go out and you got to learn to make the mistakes so you know what you're doing. And then when you go to open people, you know how to help them. So just don't be afraid to make mistakes, and then don't try to do everything in 2 months. Don't try to become, the best dealer in 2 months. Obviously that's what you want to go for, but it's more of a marathon than it is a sprint. So don't set yourself up for failure trying to go all in the first month, 2 months.
Awesome. Really, really good. And good advice. That's exactly what the people need to hear. I think we've all felt this way, and I'm not sure whether you did or not, so I'm going to ask you, when you were a safety advisor, was there ever any moments where you started thinking that maybe becoming a dealer was unachievable, where maybe you were concerned about it? And if so, how did you overcome it, and how would you encourage people who want to become dealers but just aren't sure if they have what it takes?
No, I never really ran into the issue of if I wanted to do it. I mean, about 2 weeks in, and once I learned that you could be a dealer, I was already texting April, what can I do? But for uncertainty, just stay positive. I'd share my story. I got zero sales background. I got a lot of fire experience, which kind of helps me. But then, people like Sue as well, where she was a nurse prior to this, and then she came in and just dominated everybody. So just sharing those kind of stories with people, letting them know. And then, just keep them positive, motivated, and hopefully they join around a time where you can get their ass to the world meeting, because that'll spark them pretty good too.
Very, very good. And exactly. And it seems to be that's a question that seems to come up quite often as people talk about the fear of becoming a dealer, and the fear when they first open up as a dealer. And it really comes down to confidence, and it comes down to understanding that you're not alone. Yes, you are in business, for yourself, but not by yourself. You have, in your case, Brandon, you have April's, and you've got, so many people around you, from Scott and Jake and Bill Siddock and Chris Putnam. You have me there visiting, David Carter. You've got the Global Peak Training. So there really is a lot of things to help you overcome, because it's human nature to feel a little bit of fear, that fear of failure. But as you said, you felt pretty confident from the beginning, and your background certainly made stronger for it. What are some of your hobbies?
Pretty much sports and traveling. Me and my wife travel a lot. Pretty much every weekend she's got me on the go trying to do something to get out of the house. And then during the winter I coach basketball. So I'm pretty big into the sports with the community. My wife's the varsity cheer coach. So pretty much once fall rolls around, we're at, the high school football games, because a lot of the athletes I coach play football, and then my wife's the cheerleading coach. So pretty much from the fall through March, it's pretty much at the schools in the evenings for sporting events. The summers we like to travel. That's basically all we do. It's just sports and traveling.
Fantastic. Good sports and keeps you busy, no question. And in shape, and you want to get back in shape for that knee. From Sue
True.
Jenna, what is your greatest strength as a dealer?
I feel like one of my greatest strengths, not only as a dealer, but it's also helped me as a coach, is my ability to help influence people. Pushing on their success, helping them find their success, helping them write out their goals, helping them achieve those goals and pushing them for it. So I feel like I'm pretty good at influencing people.
Sweet. That makes a big difference, no question. And it certainly helps, because again, everybody has a little bit of self-doubt about themselves, and that positive word, that being a positive influencer, makes a big difference. Awesome. Also from Sue Jenna, what would you think is one of your weaknesses that you are working on or getting better at?
My definite biggest weakness is patience. I think Scott and Jake can kind of attest to that too. Especially when it comes to, training some new people and getting new people going. Even though I was in their shoes, they don't exhibit, kind of like the same work ethic, the three of us had, or, the new Jake has, or something like that. I kind of quickly grow impatient with them. But I've gotten to the point now where if I start feeling that way, I can at least back off and tell Scott or Jake, and they know to handle it for me. But patience is definitely something I need to work on.
That's awesome. Very, very good. And again, being self-aware makes a big difference. From Tom Nasu, how many people did you open with, and what traits were you looking for when you were talking to people, when you were getting ready to open up, and you wanted to bring some people with you?
So I opened with 4. I opened with Scott. He kind of started working. I kind of brought him on board a little bit when I was still an inside dealer for April. But he was more of like a part-time, once in a while kind of thing. And then when I got back from the military stuff, he came on full-time with me. Kevin, I brought Kevin with me. Kevin's actually now just an installer for me. He wanted to go back to school. There's some stuff that he wanted to pursue. So, and then Summer is now my marketing director. I brought Summer in when I was an inside dealer for April. She handled most of the setting appointments. I still did some of it too, but so 4. And then when I interviewed people, I just look for, the traits that we all want. You want people who want to take advantage of the opportunity. You want successful people. You want people that are going to work hard. You don't want people, you can tell when someone walks in your office for an interview if they're going to be egotistic or if they're know-it-alls. I kind of just squash them right out the door right away. So, so those are kind of the characteristics we look for.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, you kind of answered this a little bit earlier, but this is from Sarah. At what point did you realize that you wanted to become a dealer?
It was within like the first 2 weeks. It was right before I got sick. I was texting April because she kind of started talking about, the opportunity that Global offers and stuff like that. So started doing more reading on it. I know it was me, Bill, and Cody. We're all kind of reading the dealer magazine and stuff like that. So pretty much within 2 weeks, I knew that I wanted to do it. And then when I was sick, I was constantly texting April, trying to figure out what I can do. And her advice was just read and get better. So, self-education. So
almost
within 2 weeks,
sight, wouldn't you say?
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's really, really good. Okay. And what advice would you give to a safety advisor who wants to open an office in 6 or 7 months? What would you tell them to do in the next 6 or 7 months as they're getting prepared to want to, take this next leap of faith? An opportunity.
Just to dedicate the next 6-7 months at least to becoming an expert in everything that you can. Obviously, you're not going to learn everything, and you're not going to be an expert, the expert in every topic, but do your best to learn every single topic. And then just start from, writing down the structure that you want in your office, how you want it organized. Just start surrounding your thoughts and everything around your office. And then run demos. Just run as many demos as you can, get the cash flow going. And it's just going to help prepare you for when you bring in new safety advisors.
Fantastic. Really, really good advice. Now, I've got no idea what this question is or where this question is going to take you. So maybe you can answer the question and maybe explain the question afterwards. But how many chairs do you take with you when you deploy somewhere?
How many chairs do I take? I'm going to guess that's a Cody Britcher question.
Not going to tell you who.
Yeah. So Cody was the Army, right? So Army just stands for, Air Force rejected me yesterday. But I don't take any chairs with me. They're provided on site, so we don't have to worry about taking our own.
Okay. I was told that was an inside joke, so I'm not sure what that meant exactly. Okay. So Army means what exactly again?
Air Force rejected me yesterday.
Okay. I'll remember that next time I see somebody from the Army. Didn't make the Air Force. What is your favorite book and why? I think we covered that. That's what we covered before, didn't we? With the Can't Hurt Me?
Yep, Can't Hurt Me. But with that too, for those who maybe don't like reading or are just too busy to kind of find a little bit of time to sit down and read, if you've got an Audible account, he's got his Can't Hurt Me on Audible. And it's actually, I like it better than the book. The book goes a little more in depth, but the Audible one, it's actually a podcast. So you hear him pretty much after every chapter coming and just explaining things and doing some motivational speaking with it. So I think the Audible one's a big one to go with too, not just the book.
Fantastic. That's a really good idea. And Audible accounts there's so many books right now, Audible, and we spend so much time driving to presentations or driving to visit offices that being able to listen to those stuff while we're driving is just, fills our stuff with so many good ideas. That's really good stuff. Thank you, Brendan. What is your favorite movie and why?
So I got a couple. Gladiator. I don't really have a reason why. I enjoy watching them. Gladiator with Russell Crowe. That's pretty much been one of my favorite movies since I've first seen it. And then another movie I like to watch is Zero Dark 30. It's kind of the investigation part of catching Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
And then 13 Hours. So 13 Hours is the Benghazi movie. And as Cody knows and April knows, so Cody and I were actually over there when that happened. Cody was pretty much on a standby team waiting to go into Syria. And then I was literally just on the other side of the Persian Gulf, kind of ready to go. So kind of like those movies just because, we lived them. Yeah. So those two movies and then Gladiator.
Good choices. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? Probably Coach Carter.
Coach Carter, right? Yeah, that bring it close to home with you in your coaching.
Yeah, I love his mentality in it, and it's obviously a basketball movie, so I think Coach Carter would probably be one of my top ones.
Fantastic. Really, really good. Okay, we're going to finish it off with this one simple. What words of wisdom would you like to share as we finish this call with your teammates and international lifesavers?
I feel like everything is just repetitive with this part because I feel like it's everything that, you, David Carter, and Chris Roberts and Brett have said over the past few days. But just keep positive and remain optimistic during these times. And this is a good opportunity to kind of reset and reload. There's already some things, that, Scott, Jake, and I have been able to get done with the office that, we just kind of procrastinated with because we either got too busy and kind of pushed it off. But use it as an opportunity to get caught up on the things that might not have been caught up or might have been in the back of your mind, so you don't have to worry about them when we can get the ball rolling again. And then just keep working hard. And it's pretty awesome to see that we took over the entire the magazine for February. So I look forward to seeing that happen again for March and then April and the rest of the year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Brandon. That was absolutely awesome. Great questions, nice and honest, and I'm sure very inspirational for everybody to hear too. Probably the most important message that we can all learn today is that you don't have to be the captain of the team to be a leader on the team. And anything that we can do to encourage each other, anything we can do to remind each other to get things accomplished, what Brandon's doing right there with having his group chat, and every day giving everybody a goal to what are you going to accomplish today? What's the one thing, what's your victory you're going to give yourself today? And some of those victories can be small, some of those victories can be big. But you don't have to be the leader of the team, the captain of the team to be a leader on a team. And that's really what I want to get everybody to really keep thinking every day is, saying the positive thing, saying the right thing to the right people can make the world of difference as we go through these crazy times that we're going through. Today's contest is going to be a little bit different. Well, not a little bit different, a little bit similar. We're going to be giving away 2 books. They're going to be called Rhinoceros Success, which was David Carter's favorite book from yesterday. I'm going to get them both signed by David Carter. So, but here's this. It's going to be 3-part answer, 3 answers. Number 1, what was David and Christy Carter's favorite anniversary restaurant? Number 2, David Carter says marketing is selling. In what video does he say that? And in number 3, in the Challenger magazine, who said there is no price tag high enough for the lives of your family? 3 parts answers. Let's have a fantastic day. Let's get those in here and we'll rock and roll. Talk to everybody real soon. Again, on the messenger service, has to be on the messenger service. Don't be texting me. Don't be asking me. Don't be calling people looking for the answers. Let's get this done. Thank you very much for everybody for an awesome day. Brandon, thank you. That was so great. Brandon, the very first dealer we organically grown. And since then, we've got a whole bunch more people going out and people doing things. We'll have 11 more organically grown dealers in the next 3 months. Let's rock and roll. Thank you, everybody.